What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. In this video, we're jumping into X-Force issue number 30. Now, they are claiming that this is a Judgment Day tie-in. I have read through it a couple times, and there is absolutely nothing that has to do with Judgment Day, which is kind of a disappointment, but it's to be expected. There's gonna be one or two issues in here throughout this whole event that's spanning, I think, like 3 months. There are gonna be some things that aren't directly dealing with Judgment Day. This one really focuses on the fact that Cyclops has let the world know that mutant kind has resurrection. And we also have our 2 new members joining X-Force, that being Omega Red and Deadpool. The story picking us up in the wake of Kid Omega just disappearing, presumed to be dead. There is no account of him anywhere, not in Cerebro, nowhere. Now, make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel, you have liked this video, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so our story, it is picking us up with Wolverine having a conversation with Krakoa. And that is because Wolverine has looked everywhere for Kid Omega. Any sign, any glimpse, even a little bit of a DNA fragment. There's no body, no memory of him in the cradles. Right now, he is believing that Kid Omega has been gobbled up by Krakoa. This is really just Logan lashing out. Not having any answers, not knowing where to look. We see him cut down Krakoa, at least the tree on Krakoa, with Charles Xavier showing up telling him that he hopes he feels better, because otherwise this accomplishes absolutely nothing. Now Wolverine, he is starting to question everything about the island. Everything that they have been doing, everything that they have been building. While he still has faith in Charles Xavier, he is not going to care about anything else until he gets some answers on what happened to Kid Omega. As we hop on over to the North Pole, we have KRAVEN the Hunter. He has been out here for 17 days. His sled dogs have died. He has burned his sled for warmth. Out here in the elements, battling against Mother Nature itself. We currently find him hunting, taking down a seal. Now, while he is going to eat this seal, he's going to use a little bit of it to burn and use it as warmth. He's using some of the entrails as bait, because KRAVEN the Hunter, at the end of the day, he goes for the apex predator. And up here in the North Pole, that is polar bears. He came here to hunt the ice bear, to prove that KRAVEN, he is the superior. Hiding in the snow, waiting for the bear to show up. He comes out with nothing more than a knife, believing that a gun would give him the unfair advantage. He stands toe-to-toe with this massive animal. And of course, KRAVEN the Hunter comes out on top. But when he guts this bear, when he goes to skin it, take its fur, so on and so forth, do the whole 9 yards, inside the stomach of this ice bear, he finds the head and body parts of Deadpool. And so that's what takes us to a little bit earlier, back on Krakoa. And currently we have Deadpool, who is just being his absolute self, telling everybody that Wolverine begged for him to come on to the X-Force, that he was dang near in tears, saying the X-Force wouldn't be anything without him, so on and so forth. He's doing his typical Deadpool thing, but even individuals like Domino are letting him know that he should probably just shut up. Like, spew all that stuff all you want at the bar, whatever, but when you come here for the meeting for X-Force, check that stuff at the door. As the team sits down, Wolverine being absent because really he's too focused on finding Kid Omega. But there are still orders of business that need to be taken care of, with Omega Red showing up on site. It doesn't take long for the antics to begin. With Omega Red sitting down, he sits on a whoopee cushion. A giant fart is let out and Deadpool laughing his butt off. Now, Omega Red, he's not trying to play any games. He grabs hold of Deadpool and he starts beating the crap out of him. Deadpool doing everything he can to break Omega Red's grip, even going as far as throwing a sword into his shoulder. This is when Deadpool gets thrown out of the waterfall, and they get back to business. As they get down to the matters at hand, debriefing them on exactly what they are going to be doing. Our team split up. We have Black Tom and Domino. They're headed off to Utah. because right now outside the Krakoan gate, there is a huge protest. People are very upset. Mutant kind has resurrection, and they are livid about it. They are jealous, they are envious, and they want their loved ones. And if they can't have their loved ones back, they don't want mutant kind having resurrection either. The only problem, outside of this gate, it's not an ordinary protest. Right now, they have Angel in their custody. This is a hostage situation, but they're not threatening to kill him. They are threatening to torture him, to punish him, but keep him alive. As these guys take some gardening shears and they cut off one of the wings of Angel from the portal, they believe that this might be the rebirth of Elvis, only to find Black Tom. And he is making these guys pay. Now, he's not killing them, he's not even really hurting them. He is using the vegetation and he is grabbing hold of all of them, giving them definitely a good scare, a good fright. As they try to drag Angel off, Domino is there to intercept. That's what takes us to Deadpool and Omega Red. Not really sure what mission they are doing. They are on a mission that both Deadpool and Omega Red would be viable options, believing that these two are more or less disposable, that they can deny all accountability, all responsibility for the mission, because the mission that they are doing is super off the books. If they become compromised, this could be very dangerous and very bad for X-Force. As the two of them are up in the North Pole, we have a ship that is breaking through the ice. As the two of them sit here and watch, Deadpool does his typical thing, and he is doing it to the wrong person. Omega Red is not one to sit here and just let him go off at the mouth. After a couple of remarks and Deadpool trying to ride him like a freaking horse, Omega Red goes to do this mission by himself. But he leaves Deadpool, cutting off his arms and pinning him down to the ground with his own swords. Omega Red makes his way onto the ship, disbanding all of the guards, throwing them to the side. A polar bear comes up to see Deadpool, and there is nothing Deadpool can do to stop what is about to happen. With Omega Red finding an entire cargo ship full of people on the inside, presumably slaves, hostages, something of that nature. This is how Deadpool ended up inside that polar bear. And this is where we pick up at a very small place in Siberia, a very tiny, out-of-the-way bar, as the locals inside the bar have a discussion about mutant kind, about how they have immortality, how they think they are better than everybody else, how they need to be taken down a peg. KRAVEN the Hunter walks into the room. He sits down, he has a drink. Inside of his pack, you can see the head and body parts of Deadpool. As he listens to the locals having this conversation, he hears them mention that mutants are now the apex predator. KRAVEN, hearing this information, he has somebody new to hunt. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. So for me, I'm not really on board with this. I mean, it's okay. It's not bad. I was expecting Judgment Day, so that was already a letdown from the get-go. But then you bring in KRAVEN the Hunter. Now, I don't have a problem with KRAVEN the Hunter. I think he's a pretty unique and cool character. But now it seems like he is going to be hunting mutants. Which, cool, the idea seems like it's plausible for a little while. Maybe some low-power, low-level mutants he might be able to take down. But the true reality of it, KRAVEN the Hunter, he's more of an assassin than anything else. He doesn't have any crazy skills and abilities that make him on par with some really powerful individuals. Even Wolverine. Wolverine would dice KRAVEN to pieces. At least my personal opinion. Like, that fight 9 times out of 10 should go to Logan. So the question is, how are they going to beef up KRAVEN the Hunter to make him even on the same playing field as some of these mutants that he might be hunting? You know, Deadpool now being on X-Force, fully support it. I think that he has deserved that slot 100%. I really want to focus on what happened to Kid Omega, because Charles Xavier, he showed up to Logan and he pretty much told him, like, we're dealing with things that are beyond our power that we don't understand. This is Charles Xavier telling you this. So what does this mean? What the heck happened to Kid Omega? I think that is really the far more interesting story out of everything currently going on here. They definitely did Angel dirty by cutting off his wing. You know, he doesn't get a lot of attention in most of the X books. And when you do throw him into X-Force, he's gotten kidnapped and you cut off one of his wings. Not the best way to utilize this character, but I understand what they're trying to do here. And I'm also a little concerned, why does the rest of X-Force not really focus on where Kid Omega is? You would think, like Wolverine, that they would be on top of this trying to figure it out, regardless of what is happening at the Krakoan gates. That is definitely more a job for the X-Men team. Now this could be taken on during all that, while the X-Men are fighting the Hex and so on and so forth during Judgment Day, but it seems to be just a little bit prior to when Judgment Day actually takes place. Because if they're focused on minuscule tasks like what they are doing, and I'm not saying that Angel getting his wing cut off is not minuscule, but in comparison to a Celestial being dropped on the island and telling them they have 24 hours to live and prove that they deserve to live, you don't think that they would just be sitting around having a discussion and breaking up the team in such a manner. There's also lots of stuff that they haven't come back around to yet. Colossus more or less being a Russian spy. We have the decline of Beast, and he has been going downhill, being very cynical, being almost evil, and they have really yet to dive into anything going on with Beast either. And so them not diving into these very important things that are going on makes me think that everything going on with Kid Omega, it might be sidelined for a little bit just to take Kid Omega off the map during Judgment Day. I really hope that that's not the case. You know, I understand that there is a lot of Omega levels, there's a lot of alphas, there's a lot of very powerful mutants that are on Krakoa. All of them deserve their shine, but I believe that Kid Omega more than anybody, he really does deserve the opportunity to shine, especially against a force like the freaking Eternals. But the X-Force, really as a whole, just in general, it has been a subpar line for quite some time now. I'm honestly surprised that I haven't dropped it. Kid Omega has been one of the big things keeping me around. The most recent Deadpool arc was entertaining, so I definitely was willing to continue on. But if we don't get Kid Omega back soon, I don't know how much longer I'll be interested in reading this comic. They better have a dang good excuse on why Kid Omega has just disappeared into nothingness. But let me know your thoughts, let me know your theories. If you would like to get caught up on everything that has been going on with X-Force since the 10 of Swords, be sure to check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It will get you completely caught up on everything happening with our CIA team. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by hitting the super thanks button. This button will let you donate directly to the channel, and every little bit helps us out. Now, if you can't do that, do me a favor, hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you like this video, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.